Easter Island fascinates us with its mysterious statues. It was not until 2010 that archaeologists unearthed the buried neck-down part of some statues. They revealed that those Moai statues have bodies and even legs beneath the ground. This video is also going to try and neck down revelation, but not of statues but of Easter Island itself. What you're going to see will surely inspire many new theories about mysteries of Easter Island. But this revelation could deepen the mystery still more instead of solving it for good. From now on, argument over Easter Island and its statues will be pointless without reference to the revelation you are going to witness. At least this video will oblige us to look at Easter Island and its statues in a new perspective. Yes, this blue frame shows the location of Easter Island. But you might find it odd for that purpose. Manhattan Island is about 20 kilometers long. Easter Island is about 23 kilometers long. But what you're going to witness is a huge secret in which the island will be only the tip of the iceberg. Yes, this blue frame shows the location of archaeologically very relevant huge traces you are going to witness. Easter Island is famous for its mysterious megaliths called Moai statues. This area will surface as the background of Easter Island and its mystery. This area is very large. So what on earth is there? You can see huge geometrical formation consisting of tracks elaborately drawn according to some intelligent design. Of course, they are under the sea and have been scarcely known to us humans just until recently. Several tracks radiate from Easter Island. That means the island was, or still is, a center of activities of tremendous scale under the sea. Tracks run without break just like square waves. Something huge must have crawled about on the seafloor and have left these tremendous tracks. We call the entity that is supposed to have traveled on the seafloor just crawler for the sake of reference. What on earth are these tracks on the seafloor? These are the results of some tremendous engineering activities under the sea. We are going to check the width of these tracks using the scale provided by Google Earth. Each red cell is 20 kilometers by 20 kilometers. Now we see each track has the width of 11 or 12 kilometers. At least easily over 10 kilometers. Consequently, we are obliged to think that something easily more than 10 kilometers wide traveled meticulously and accomplished this formation. On close observation, we notice there are some traces of very tricky job in relation to the direction of tracks. Is this human achievement? Is this within the capacity of human technology? Whether it is under the water or on the land, it is very unlikely that these were made by human beings. We know nothing like them whether on the land or under the water, don't we? Whether it is under the water or on the land, the scale itself far exceeds the capacity of human technology. We human beings have nothing to compare with this gigantic formation. This is simply disproportionately too huge for us, human beings. Then, what's the relevance to Moai statues? Of course, Moai statues must have been made by humans like us. The building of those megaliths itself is a great human achievement, indeed. but it is incomparable with the formation under the sea in terms of engineering level. Weren't Moai statues in this track formation made by the same people? It is very unlikely that Moai people were responsible for this gigantic track formation under the sea. But Moai people might have known the existence of the people who were completely different from themselves. And it is possible that Moai people made those statues after the people who appeared almost godlike to them. Now we are going to see another track formation. This one looks more regular because it is squarely positioned, unlike the first slanted one. Most tracks run east-west or south-north and look more like square waves. Look at the blue lines. The crawler comes in askew and goes out askew almost at the same angle. Look at the green circles. The crawler makes a very tricky turn twice, soon after the start and just before the exit. This formation looks much regular and simple, but here again there are a few elaborate and tricky parts. It's hard to say the true meaning of these tricky jobs. If the track penetrates through the second formation, and that perfectly parallel with the stripes of square waves. Square wave track formation seems to be multi-leveled. There are smaller versions. For the sake of size comparison, Easter Island is dragged down. Do you remember that the island is about 23 kilometers long? Here again, we see tricky track. It's as if nothing should be left predictably simple. The track width would be about 4 kilometers. That means something as wide as about 4 kilometers crawled around here. Even smaller track formations are much larger than Easter Island. Especially wide track runs through the larger formation horizontally. And it so happened that this penetrating track is the longest straight track on the planet. As for this longest straight track on Earth, please watch the previous video, Seafloor Archaeology 12. It is even more unlikely that Moai people made these tracks. Building of megalith statues would have been the best they could accomplish. These tracks were made by crawlers, which traveled without bounds under the water. The width of this track is about 16 kilometers. Please don't make a mistake. Not the length of the track, but the width. The length is 9,762 kilometers with no breaks and turns. This track alone surpasses the capacity not only of Moai people but also us, modern people living now. Here we are. The stripes must look familiar to you. The longest track and the square wave formation were not necessarily completed together but possibly at quite different times. And most likely, the longest track preceded. And as you already noticed, this track is perfectly parallel with the equator. It is difficult to clarify the relation of Moai statues and crawler tracks. I hope crawler track background revealed in this video will provide a new perspective to Moai statues and its mysteries. Actually, crawler track background is not limited to South Pacific Ocean, including Easter Island. The authors of such crawler tracks might have belonged to a completely different civilization from ours. Moai people might have some contact with crawler people. Easter Island is the center of some radiating crawler tracks, and Moai statues are mostly facing the sea. Those mysterious statues might have been made in the image of the divine race with whom they had some relation. That might be the reason why those statues were erected facing the sea.